and welcome to Katawa Shoujo, a visual novel. You can turn it down here. I've actually wanted to do a read on this for quite a while, but only got the motivation from for recording it from some other YouTubers that did it before me. And I'd like to thank them for helping me get off my lazy ass and doing this. Alright, disable adult content. I should probably do that, but I don't know. We'll deal with that when we get to it. So let's start the book again, the visual novel. A light breeze causes the naked branches overhead to rattle like the wooden wind chimes. This is a popular retreat for a couple in summer. The deciduous trees provide a beautiful green canopy far out of sight and fellow students, of teachers and fellow students. But now, in late winter, it feels like I'm standing under a pile of kindling. I breathe into my cupped hands and rub them together furiously to prevent them from numbing in this cold. Just how long am I expected to wait out here anyway? I'm sure the note said 4 p.m. Ah yes, the note. Slipped between the pages of my math book while I wasn't looking. As far as cliches go, I'm more of a fan of the letter in the locker. At least this way shows a bit more initiative. As I ponder the meaning of the note, the snowfall gradually thickens. The snowflakes silently falling from the white painted sky are the only sign of time passing in the staged world. Their slow descent upon the frozen forest makes it seem like the time has slowed to a crawl. The rustling of dry snow underfoot startles me, interrupting the quiet mood. Someone is approaching me from behind. Sal, you came? A hesitating, barely audible question. However, I recognize the owner of that dainty voice instantly. I feel my heart skip a beat. It's a voice I've listened to hundreds of times, but never as more than an eavesdropper to a conversation. I turn to face the voice of my dreams, and my heart begins to race. You not go? I got a note telling me to wait here. It was yours? Damn it. Spent all afternoon trying to come up with a good line, and that's what is the result. Pathetic. Yes. I asked a friend to give you that note. I'm so glad you got it. A shy, joyous smile that makes me so tense. I couldn't move a single muscle, even if I tried. My heart is pounding now, as if it were trying to burst out of my chest and claim this girl for itself. So, here we are, out in the cold. Once again, the wind stirs up the branches. The cacophonous noises is the music to my ears. I don't know how to say that, as you clearly tell. Monako flinches ever so softly against the gust of wind. As it passes, she rights herself, as if supported by some new confidence. Her eyes lock with mine, and she lazily twirls her long dark hair around her fingers. All the while, the anxious beating in my heart grows louder. My throat is tight. I doubt I could even force a word out if I tried. You see, oh God, I wanted to know if you'd go out with me. I stand there, motionless, save for my pounding heart. I wanted to say something in reply, but my vocal cords feel like they've been stretched beyond the breaking point. So, I reach up to try to massage my throat, but the only sense spikes of blinding pain along my arms. Sal! That doesn't look good at all. My whole body freezes, saves from my eyes, which shoot open in terror. Sal! I can't yell. I'm sorry. The beating in my chest suddenly stops, and I go weak at the knees. The world around me, the canopy of bare branches, the dull winter sky, and Wanaka running towards me, all these fade to black. The last thing I remember before slipping away are the sounds of Wanaka screaming for help, and the incessant clatter of the branches above. That's the prologue. Full Leaf Studio presents Katawa Shoujo. It's been 4 months since my heart attack. In that whole time, I could probably count the times I've left the hospital room unsupervised on one hand. 4 months is a pretty long time when you're left alone with your thoughts, so I've had plenty of time to come to terms with my situation. Arrhythmia. A strange word, a foreign, alien one that you don't want to be in the same room with. A rare condition that causes the heart to act erratically, occasionally beat way too fast. It can be fatal. Apparently, I've had it for a long time. They said it was a miracle that I was able to go on so long without anything happening. Is that really a miracle? Because it was supposed to make me feel better, more appreciative of my life. It really didn't do anything to cheer me up. My parents, I think, were hit harder by the news than I was. They practically had 2 hemorrhages apiece. I had already had a full day by then to digest everything. To them, it was all fresh. They were even willing to sell our house in order to pay it for a cure. Of course, there isn't a cure. Because of the late discovery of this condition, I've had to stay at the hospital to recuperate from the treatments. When I was first admitted, I felt as if I was missed. For about a week, my room in the ward was full of flowers, balloons, and cards. But the visitors soon dwindled, and all the get-well gifts began trickling down, so nothing shortly after. I realized that the only reason I had gotten so many cards and flowers was because sending me their sympathy, had been turned into a class project. Maybe some people were genuinely concerned, but I doubt it. Even in the beginning, I barely had visitors. By the end of the first month, only my parents came by on a regular basis. Wanaka was the last to stop visiting. After 6 weeks, I never saw her again. We never had that much to talk about when she visited anyways. We didn't touch the subject that was between us on that snowy day ever again. The hospital? It's not really a place I'd like to live in. The doctors and nurses feel so impersonal and faceless. I guess it's because they're in a hurry, and they have millions of other patients waiting for them, but it makes me feel uncomfortable. For the first month or so, I asked the head cardiologist every time I saw him for a rough estimate of when I'd be able to leave. He never answered anything in a straightforward way, but told me to wait to see if the treatment and surgeries worked. So I idly observed the scar that the surgeries had left on my chest slowly changed its appearance over time, thinking of it as some kind of an omen. I still asked the head cardiologist about leaving, but my expectations are low enough now that I'm not disappointed anymore when I don't get a reply. The way he shuffles around the answer shows that there's at least some hope. At some point, I stopped watching TV. I don't know why, I just did. Maybe it was the wrong kind of escapism from my situation. I started reading instead. There was a small library at the hospital. It was more like a storeroom of books. I began working my way through it, one small stack at a time. After consuming them, I'd go back for more. I found that I liked reading, and I think I even became a bit addicted. I started feeling naked without a book in my hands. But I loved the stories. That was what my life was like. The days became increasingly harder to distinguish from each other, differing only by the book I was reading and the weather outside. I felt like the time blurred into some kind of gooey mass that was trapped inside instead of moving within. A week could go by without me really noticing it. Sometimes I'd pause in realization that I didn't know what kind of day what day of the week it was. But other times, all the things that surrounded me would painfully crash into my consciousness through the barrier of nonchalance and to set up for myself. The pages of my book would start to feel sharp and burning hot, and the heaviness in my chest would become so hard to bear that I had to put the book aside and just lay down for a while, looking at the ceiling as if I was going to cry. But that happened only rarely. I couldn't even cry. Today the doctor comes in and gives me a smile. He seems excited. It's not very. It's like he's trying to make an effort to be happy on my behalf. My parents are here. It's been a few days since I've last seen them. Both of them are even sort of dressed up. It's supposed to be some kind of special occasion. It's not a party. There is this ritual that cardiologist has. He takes his time sorting his papers and setting them aside as if to make a point of the pointlessness of what he just did. And he casually sits down on the edge of the bed next to mine, looks me in the eyes for a moment. "Hello, Sal. How are you today?" I won't answer him, but I smile a little back at him. "I believe that you can go home. Your heart is stronger now, and with some precautions, you should be fine. We'll have your medication sorted out. I'll give your father the prescription." The doctor handed a sheet of paper to my dad. His expression turns wooden as he reads it quickly. So many. I take it from his hand and take a look for myself, feeling numb. How am I supposed to react to this? The absurdly long list of medications staring at me from the paper seems insurmountable. They all blend together in a sea of letters. This is insane. Side effects, adverse effects, contraindications, and dosages are listed line after line with cold precision. I try to read them, but it's so futile. I can't understand any of it. Attempting to only makes me feel sicker. All this for the rest of my life, every day. I'm afraid that is the best we can do at this point. However, the new medications are always being developed, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that list fade over the years. What kind of confidence booster is that? I'd felt better if you hadn't said anything at all. Also, I've spoken with your parents and believe that it would be best if you don't return to your old school. What? Please calm down, Sal. Listen to what the doctor said. Calm down. The way he says it tells me he knew full well I wouldn't like it. going to be homeschooled? Whatever my condition shows, it's ignored. We all understand that your education is paramount. However, I don't think that it's wise for you to be without supervision. At least not until we're sure that your medication is suitable. So I've spoken to your parents about a transfer. There's a school called the Yamaku Academy that specializes in dealing with disabled students. Disabled? What? Am I? It has a 24-hour nursing staff. It's only a few minutes from the highly regarded general hospital. The majority of students live on the campus. Think of it as a boarding school of sorts, designed to give students a degree of independence while keeping help nearby. Independence? It's a school for disabled kids. Don't try to distract that fact. If it was really that free, there wouldn't be a 24-hour nursing staff, and they wouldn't make a hospital being nearby a selling point. Of course, that's only if you want to go, but your mother and I aren't really able to homeschool you. We went out there and had a look a couple weeks back. I think you'd like it. Looks like I don't really have a choice. Compared to the other heart problems, people with your condition usually tend to live long lives. You'll need a job one day, and this is a good opportunity to continue your education. This isn't an opportunity. Don't call it an opportunity. Don't call it a goddamn opportunity. Well, you should be excited at the chance to go back to school. I remember you wanted to return to school while it's not the same. And while it's not the same one, specialized school. That's an insult. That is what I want to say. Step down. It's not what you think. All the students there are pretty active in their own sort of way. That's geared towards students that can still get around and learn, but just need a little help in one way or another. Your father's right, and as many of the graduates at school have gone on to do amazing things, a person doesn't want to be held back by their disability. One of my colleagues in another hospital is a graduate. I don't care. A person doesn't have to be held by their disability. That's what a disability is. I really hate that something so important was decided for me. But what can I do about it? Normal life is out of the question now. It's funny. I always thought my life was actually kind of boring. But now I miss it. I want to protest. I want to blame this lack of reaction on shock or fatigue. I could easily yell out something now. Something about how I can go back to school anyways. But no. I don't want to say anything. The fact is that I know it's futile. I looked around the room feeling very tired of all this. Hospitals, doctors, my condition, everything. I don't see anything the world would make feel any different. There really isn't a choice. I know this is, but the thought of going to a disabled school, what are those even like? As much as you try to put a positive spin on this, it's very difficult. But let me try. Clean slate isn't a bad thing. That's all I can think of to get me through this. At least I still have something. Even if it's a special school, it's something. It's a fresh start, and my life isn't over. It'd be a mistake just to resign myself to thinking that. At the very least, I'll try to see what my new life would look like. Act 1. Life expectancy. The gate looked far too pompous for what it was. In fact, gates in general seem to do that, but this one especially so. Red bricks, black wrought iron, and gray plaster assembled into a whole that didn't feel welcoming at all. I wonder if it looked like what a gate for a school should look like, but couldn't really decide. Probably no. Of course I didn't want to get stuck on thinking about the gate for too long, so I entered through it with a brisk pace that felt surprisingly good. Moving forward feels good. So I walked towards the main building of Yamaku Academy with this brisk pace. Oh, sorry about that. I'm alone, as my parents are taking my stuff to the dorms, and there's supposed to be someone waiting for me. The grounds are incredibly lush, filled with green. It doesn't feel like the kind of grounds that a school would have. More like a park with a clean walkway going past trees and smells of fresh cut grass and all over park-like things. Words like clean and hygienic pop into my mind. It makes me shudder. Ugh. I shake them off. Stay open-minded now. It's your new life. You have to take it as it comes. That's what I tell myself. A few big buildings loom behind the leafy canopies, too big and too many for just a school. Everything seems off. It's different from what I thought I knew about schools. It's all in an uncanny valley. Even though I was told this is my new school in the back of my head, it doesn't feel like one. I wonder if this feeling is real or caused by my expectation of a school for the disabled. Speaking of that, I don't see anyone else here. It's kind of eerie. It makes me wish there was somebody out there, so I can anchor myself to something tangible instead of having this feeling that I stepped into another dimension. The trees hum with this wind, and green hues flashing all around me, catching my attention. It makes me think about hospital again. How they say that the operating rooms are painted green because green is a calming color. So why am I feeling so anxious, despite all this greenery? Only after I stand in front of the main building, surprised myself by realizing why the gate bothered me. It was the last chance I had to turn back. Even if I had no life I could return to. But still, after entering, there was absolutely no way I could go back anymore. Feeling nervous, and with the realization set in my head, I opened the front door. A tall man with a bad posture doses me as I enter. We're the only people in the lobby, so it's only logical. You must be Nakai. So you are. Excellent. I'm your homeroom science teacher. My name is Mutao. Welcome. We exchange a handshake, and that is neither firm nor sloppy. He looks at his watch. The head nurse asked me for a brief check-in visit. There's no time for that now. Or, oh, should I go later? Yes, afternoon is probably fine. We should get going and introduce you to the rest of the class. You're waiting already. Waiting for me? I don't really like being the center of attention, but I guess it's inevitable in a situation like this. Somehow, not knowing what is waiting for me makes me feel really nervous. Thinking of this, I almost miss what a teacher is saying. Do you want to introduce yourself to the class? First decision, first off, I think I will save. And yeah, just create a bunch of new save states for every option. Cause right now in my mind, I feel like doing all the paths. And you know what? I actually haven't really introduced this game. I just sort of went with it, and yeah. So this game is visual novel. Of course, I said that part. And each option you choose, more or less, chooses a path you'll go with along the game. And there's several different endings and several different paths you can take. And yeah, that's why I'm saving before everything, just to make sure I can go back and do a different path. Alright, whatever. Do you want to introduce yourself to the class? For me personally, I have social anxiety. But, sure, why not? Yeah, sure. I mean, isn't that normal? Of course. Well, not everyone likes to be at the center of attention. Like me. Like me. I'm probably one of those people, but I guess I should be the one to give the first impression to myself. Right. But it's no problem. Let's go then. My heart is pounding in my chest and it keeps me thinking about my condition as I follow the teacher up the stairs. The third door down the third corridor makes it marked as a classroom for class 3-3. Mattel opens the door and enters. Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late again. I hesitate for a split second at the door, freezing on the spot. Ha! Get a grip. This is a big step. I know that. But there isn't any point to worrying so much about it. But at least not this soon. I follow the teacher into the classroom and looks around impartially, so I won't have to meet the curious gazes of my new classmates. Also, wait. This is like the boy version of Haruhi Suzumiya, I think. This one right here. I only get that from the headband. It's pretty spacious. The ceiling is unusually high, and there's a lot of space left over around and in between the desks. An entire wall will be taken up by blackboards. My old-fashioned windows only make it seem larger. Wait, isn't that Van Gogh right here? Is the ear? Is that what that is? The students' desks are just standard wooden desks with a shelf underneath for books and wooden chairs with metal frames. Simple and efficient. I stop walking in front of the classroom and face the other students. They all look normal, like students in any other school. But then, why would they be here? They're probably like me and have something wrong with them. Only it's just not immediately obvious. Then, I noticed that one of the girls seems to be missing the thumb of her right hand. It's a little jarring. Despite the natural tendency to listen when someone's talking about you, I tune out and the teacher's speech halfway through while he's introduced me to the class. I noticed a flash of dark hair and seeing someone looking at me. A girl with really long, straight hair that is pretty eye-catching. She seems to be looking at me looking back at her. She covers her face with her hands as if it would make her invisible. It's a girl like on the other screen, but it like panned to this one. There's one boy with a cane leaning against the locker at the rear of the class. It's weird seeing someone so young with a cane. Another girl seems to be making some weird hand motions, sign language. She peers at me over the rims of her glasses and goes back to whatever she's doing. She's kind of cute. So is the cheery looking girl with the pink hair sitting next to her. She's really hard to miss. I don't know. I didn't notice her the moment I walked in. Wait, like the empty desk right next to the window. Wow, that is a thing. Please, welcome our newest classmate. He claps his hands, and so does everyone else, except the one girl in the first row who has only one hand. Wow, that is just, I don't know. I cringe a little, but hide it by bowing and thanks for this applause I did not deserve. A collective silence tells me I should open my mouth now. So, I am a Saunikai. And after that, my hobbies are reading and soccer. I hope to get along with everyone even though I'm a new student. After that, I mean, it's so boring. This is exactly like every self-introduction ever. I just say something more exciting. I end up saying nothing, and the teacher picks up from there. Everyone seems to be satisfied, even with that little I said. Though a few girls are whispering to each other, throwing glances at me. It could have gone wrong. I listen to the teacher as he drones about getting along while letting my gaze sweep across the classroom. Everyone seems to be listening to him intently. When he's done, they clap their hands again, which feels like a weird thing to do because there's the girl with one hand still. The first row girl claps her on this round with her one hand against her wrist. That's even his bandaged thumb. Well, yeah, makes me feel a little bad. We're going to do some group work today, so that will give you a chance to talk with everyone. Is that okay with you? Yeah, it's fine with me. That's good. You can work with Hakamichi, and this is the class, and she's the class representative. All right. She can explain anything you might want to know. No one else would be able to do that better, right? Maybe you. How could I know? The teacher passes out the day assignment, announced that we will be working in a group of 3. It's me that I don't know how Hakamichi is. Slow. The teacher seems to catch my helpless expression. Alright, Hakamichi is right there. Shizune Hakamichi. As he calls out her name, the cute, bubbly-looking girl with the bright pink hair and gold eyes waves her hand at me. I take a seat next to her by the window. I guess you're Hakamichi, right? It's nice to meet you. Ha ha ha! What? I'm caught off by her laughter. It's nice to meet you too, but I'm not Hakamichi. I'm Misha. This is Hakamichi Shi-chan. This is Hakamichi Shi-chan. Giggling, Misha points to the girl next to her. The one I saw using sign language before. It looked like she had been staring at me the whole time. She nods once nonchalantly to show that she acknowledges my presence, but only barely. She has short, yet carefully neatly brushed hair. A pair of oval-shaped glasses balanced on the tip of a dainty nose. Her dark blue hair that seems to alternate every few seconds between analytical and slightly bored. It's nice to meet you. She immediately looks at Misha, who smiles and makes quick gestures with her hands. Hakamichi nods and makes a few gestures of her own. It just looked like she fixed her glasses. I don't know. I start to wonder if the teacher was messing with me, saying things like, you'll be able to talk to people, and who better explain things to you? Wow! I can tell you're a little confused, right? But I understand why you would. Think I was Shi-chan. Shi-chan is deaf, so I'm the person who translates things back and forth for her. I'm like the interpreter. She says it's nice to meet you too. You're the new student, aren't you? Well, Shi-chan, of course he is. If he wasn't, he wouldn't be standing up there for no reason, right? Right? He seems like a very interesting person, doesn't he? Well, we knew there was going to be a new student, but we didn't know you would be here today. So soon. The Chan, right? Chan. Yep, it fits, doesn't it? They say it out loud. Oh, that's me. When I say it out loud, it's just a surprise. I never liked that nickname. I don't really see how. It fits. It looks just like I imagined. Yeah, you look just like a Hichan. I wonder why everyone seems to think so. I guess you do look like a Hichan. Hakamichi taps her fingers on the desk to get Misha's attention. They gesture back and forth to each other, excitedly, their hands a blur. Misha seems a little overwhelmed. Oh. Sorry about that. Shi-chan wants you to know that she is a class rep, so if there's anything you need to know, you can feel free to ask her. Do you like the school so far? We can show you around a little if you haven't had time to walk around, and familiarize yourself with it. Misha stumbles with the hard word a bit, makes it stick out in her otherwise fluid translation. Thanks, that would be pretty helpful. Yeah, I just kinda came straight to class today. That's no good. You should always try to learn as much as you can about where you're going before you go there. Not just to school either. Always, even if it's a trip to a convenience store. Really? It's Chad? Hahaha. Learn about where you're going. I guess I didn't bother to do that, or just didn't care enough to do so. I didn't look forward to this, even if I committed myself to go along with it. Half-assedly, but anyway. I don't say anything, and Misha signed something that ends in a shrug. What was that? It doesn't seem like it was about me. I feel like slumping over in my seat. Both of them are smiling, but then that shrug hit me unexpectedly deeply. You look down. Are you okay? Oh, she looks so sad. Wait, freaking Skype. Wait. I'm sorry about that. Don't worry, I turned off Skype. I went offline for Skype, Steam, and all that jazz. Don't take it the wrong way, please. I hate it when people are afraid to ask questions. That's how people learn things, by asking. Asking for help is perfectly normal. As much as needing help. Stop looking like you just failed the test. Wow. Alright. And another thing. You don't need to call Shi-chan something so formal like Hakamichi or class rep all the time. Just call her Shi-chan. Okay, maybe that's just too casual. Maybe Shizune would be more appropriate. Yep. Shizune's fine. Okay, that would be a lot easier for me. I feel a lot more at ease. Both of them seem so friendly. So I feel like an idiot for being so apprehensive earlier. Especially about Shizune, who I assume would be all business. Well, she still seems like that, just less so, I guess. Oh god, did you hear that? Huh. Oh, right, we haven't even touched the assignment. We should start working now. Or Shi-chan will get it. The assignment is also kind of long, so we should start now. You want to finish it with the end of the class. That's you. Oh, look at that pout. Shizune glares at the top of us impatiently. I don't need to know the sign language to understand that. Okay, I get the message. After class, we can take a walk around the grounds together. It's a nice day today, okay? The assignment is actually very challenging to get through, combining aspects of being both difficult and unnecessarily long. Still, we finish it a few minutes earlier than anyone else can in the class, despite our late start. Shizune and Misha are really capable. They're quite different though. This class rep is a calm and professional, as she looks, while Misha is a lot more playful and girlish, not to mention a little more easily distracted. To be honest, the two of them did most of the work. I feel guilty about that. The clock tower bell rings, signaling the end of the period. Time for lunch. Oh, look at that art. Without knowing what else to do, I follow Misha, who's beckoning me into the hallway and down the stairs. We descend even below the lobby where I met Motel, down to the bottom floor. Just like everything in the school, the cafeteria seems too spacious and hardly modern in contrast to the classic dessert. Its big window is open in the courtyard towards the main gate. It's a cafeteria. These people are too loud. Her enthusiastic statement of the obvious makes people around to stare. Misha doesn't seem to care, so we proceed to the line. There's a rather long list of menu options, which seem great, until I realize that many of them are too accommodating for students who need a special diets. How nice. It almost feels like I'm back at the hospital eating portions measured with scientific precision to meet the needs of the patients. I pick something at random, follow Suzuki to the table, sitting opposite of her. As I nibble indifferently at the food I'd rather not eat, Misha pokes me in the side to get my attention and points to Suzuki. I don't understand sign, so pointing to the speech. Maybe looking at a person who talks to you is proper, right? Do you want to know something? What? About anything. We're your guys, so you should ask if there's anything. If there is something. I wonder. Shizune's dumb. That just seems a little rude. I don't know. Straight out of the blue. First thing you ask. I think I got everything I need to know. Probably not, since this is like a few hours after he got here. The library, actually, yeah. Probably the library, since we like reading. Oh yeah. Oh. I said I was gonna do something, but just as we do that. I guess I don't really see it. Alright, I saved it. I'm here. What? Oh, they switched places. That's a little weird. Ask you about the library. Oh yeah, is there a library in the school? Lately I've gone into reading a lot, so I'd like to check it out. Risha gives the kind of frown that makes it clear she doesn't consider reading a healthy hobby, but then picks up her smile again. There it is. There it is. It's in the second floor. We can show you it sometime. Thanks. I return to my food while the girls talk between themselves. Misha and Suzune sign back and forth very animatedly, throwing sideways glances at me, but Misha refrains from translating. Maybe they're talking about Zero Roll stuff or something. I quickly notice a conversation in sign is not enough to fill silence. We arrive in the classroom early, but we're not the first. That dark-haired girl I noticed before is slumped over the desk at the last row. She jumps a little when Misha crashes into the room with the elegance of a rhino. She shrinks deeper in her seat. I can feel her tension all the way from here, as if she were slowly turning into stone just from her presence. Misha and Suzune either don't notice or don't mind it, as they walk directly past her to their seats to begin to converse. I'm not wondering about her, even when the classroom slowly fills with other students and finally the teacher. Getting into the rhythm of school feels strange. It's as if the brain remembers how this is done, but my body doesn't. Towards the end of the class, I start yawning, counting the minutes left. I always do that. I shouldn't be this tired on my first day of school. Maybe it's a long time spent in the hospital that made me feel like this. I'm even feeling physically weak and lifeless. Before long, the final bell rings. School is finally over for the day. Besides me, Misha and Suzune are having a short conversation. After a bit of deliberation, Misha turns to me. Fortunately, we can't stay show you around to chat. We gotta hurry already, since there's a lot of work for us to do. You'll find your way around here, I'm sure of it. Oh wait, the chief said I'd have to see the nurse. Where do I have to go? Is that so? We can only show you that much. Come on, the nurse has their own building. You have to go outside. We join the flow of students making their way down the stairwell and outside, with the girls pointing out other senior classrooms in the same hallway as ours. When we get outside, the girls make their way to the smaller building right next to the school. It's built in the same style, so it looks like it's actually part of the main building. This is an auxiliary building here. There's a lot of official important stuff inside, like the Yamaku Foundation office and all the nurses' office. They even have a swimming pool. How is that an office? Or how is that official? Wow, she look mad. Why is she mad? Don't be silly, Chad. It's for therapy. Physical therapy, of course. Anyway, all the nursing staff facilities are there too. The head nurse office is on the first floor. You'll be fine from here, right? We'll be going then. See you tomorrow. Yeah. Thanks, bye. Whole building for stuff that has nothing to do with actual education. I guess it's necessary for bullets like this. That doesn't really look safe. I walk in hoping that this really will be only a quick visit, like the teacher said. On a white door on the left is a green cross with the text "Head Nurse" and a nameplate. A voice from the inside responds to my knock almost immediately, but I can't quite make it out. It sounded a bit like an invitation to open the door, so I invite myself further in. The doctor's room is not large and smells strange. A friendly-looking man turns around and on his office chair to face me as I enter. His desk is near and tidy, with the bin under the table is overflowing with used medical utensils. There are at least a dozen coffee cup rings lingering on the desk. Hello there. What can I do for you today? He's a young-looking and sort of rugged, but the dimples in his cheeks wash that impression away when he smiles. Are you the nurse? He smiles like a person who has heard this very same question 700 times. Well, yes, I am. It says so on the door, no? You can call me by my name, or just the nurse, like everyone else. Of course, I shake off my confusion, realizing I probably should grab his extended hand. His handshake is rather firm and friendly. Right, I'm a new student, and my homeroom teacher told me to come and meet you. My name is Sao Nakai. His eyes light up in their elevation. He snaps his fingers. Oh, you're that, Nakai. I was just reading your file. Oh, alright. Some kind of chronic arrhythmia and related congenital heart muscle deficiency, right? He gestures me to sit down in a vacant armchair in front of his desk. Yes. Good. Well, you've probably been briefed about the school enough, so I'll just go over this quickly. Actually, nurse, I haven't. We all have all kinds of facilities available, most physical therapy and such. There's always someone from the staff around, even at night, so never hesitate to call us even if there is a problem. The famous 24-hour nursing staff. Wow, this is like a hospital. Well, not exactly, for instance, we don't do brain surgery here. This joke feels so out of place. I'm thinking why he even said it. Yeah, just that it's really weird to have so many medical people at a school. You get used to it. I'm not so sure about that myself, but I don't let the nurse know it. Now, let me just find your file again. While he searches for something from a computer, shovels stacks of papers around. While my gaze wander around the room. It's like an epitome of generic, I'd like to say. Beige walls and ceilings, dark gray laminate flooring, and all equipment you'd expect from a school nurse's office. Even the ridiculous educational posters hang on all four walls, reminding me to eat probably 3 times a day from all the food groups. Smiling, the nurse draws a thick file from a stack of similarly thick files and opens it. So, you already have medication for the arrhythmia. Just remember to take your pills every morning and evening. It won't be much help. Apart from that, do you do any sports, rash stuff? I don't know, like boxing. He runs his own joke, but I don't. Well, I played soccer occasionally with some classmates. Alright, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to recommend you refrain from doing that, at least for the time being. Oh, my lack of reaction makes him raise an eyebrow. Really, I'm not too bothered by him forbidding me to kick the ball around. I guess I never did out a burning passion for the sport. Just had something to do. Any kind of concussion might be very dangerous to your heart, and risking another attack is not a good idea. Was the previous one caused by a sudden concussion to the chest area? There's no mention of the cause in your papers. Oh boy. Not exactly. I sidestepped the question acceptably, and he glances at me over his papers with a more serious expression on his face. Still, you need to keep your body healthy, so some exercise would do you good. You have physical therapy and such available, as I said, but I don't think you really need such a heavy measures. Just get some light exercise regularly. Brisk walks, or even light jogging, jumping rope, that sort of thing. Swimming maybe. There's a pool here. So I was told. You were. Very good. That was like the only thing I was told, pretty much. At any rate, I'm sure you've been told this before, or you just need to take care not to overexert yourself. He waves his finger to emphasize the point. No need, really. I've heard this 1,000 times already. Absolutely no unnecessary risks. Take good care of yourself. Okay. He goes over my papers one more time and sets them on the desk, obviously content. Good. That's it then. Come meet me if you ever need something. I'm ushered out before I even realized it. A quick visit indeed. I end up standing in front of the main building, an auxiliary building. Although to my eyes, they are still looking one and the same. It's the first real look I get at the other students. So I watch people coming out of the school going towards the gate or the dorms. Everyone seems to know where they are going. I still keep thinking most of them don't look too special for being students at a special school. But then again, neither do I. Does that make me one of them? One of us? One of us. I should go somewhere to prevent me from getting lost. It's around dinner time, but I feel tired instead of hungry. The weariness in me only grows as I trudge towards the dorms, settled away apart from the main building complex. There's a garden of sorts between the school and the dorms. Shrubbery, flowers, and that overbearing smell of fresh cut grass that fills the atmosphere. That must be a pretty big gate if you think about it. If there's dorms and stuff inside the gate. Well, I don't know. I don't know what that... Is that right? Is it all inside like that gate? It dawns on my tired mind that the smell feels novel, because I haven't been outside at all for so long. Like a visual novel? Like a visual novel? The dorm building is big and made of red brick like the others. It feels way too pompous for what it is, so I push forward to going inside. It takes more time than necessary to fish out the keys I was given from my pocket. Room 119. Despite the ornate exterior, the inside of the dorm is fairly new, functional and boring. Just like in the main building, the halls and doors are wide to accommodate wheelchairs, but the same goes for elevators at the end of the hallway. I poke my head around the corner of the common room door. Inside, a few students are watching the television. One nods and gives a quick hello before turning back to the TV. Seems that only the girls around here are sociable. I suppose that's perfectly fine with me. Ooh. I climb the stairs to the upper floor. Here, small corridors branch off to the main hallway. Each of these minor halls seem to have a toilet and a shower, as well as 4 rooms. About halfway down the hall, I spy room 119. The nameplate on the room adjacent to mine are blank. I guess there are just two of us here. Light shines from below the door of room 117, so I knock lightly. Hello? Is anyone home? From inside, I hear a few movements and the clicking of way more locks than I thought these doors had. After a moment, the door squeaks open. A bespectacled boy is standing in the doorway. He's looking at me. He is looking at me very intently through his extreme thick glasses. Who is it? Blind. Blind? No. At least not completely. Why would he have eyeglasses if he was? He leans closer to me until our noses are almost touching. His breath stinks like of garlic. Sound Nakai, I'm moving into the next room. I thought I should introduce myself. His face suddenly brightens in realization, and he stands back upright, thrusting his hand out in a smiling greeting, almost straight to my diaphragm. Oh, sup dude, my name's Kenji. Ah, hi. I take Kenji's sweaty hand and shake it, still a little rattled by the sudden change of attitude and vehement welcome. There were some suspicious looking people going in and out of your room earlier. It was probably my parents. Your parents? You sure? Because it could have been some other people too. You can't judge a book by its cover. The out-of-place proverb is left hanging between us awkwardly, and I try to think of some way to respond. I'd say the chances are high enough. He strutters and makes some exaggerated hand gestures. You're a brave man, Isao. Me? I don't think I can trust the chances. The only one I trust is myself. Does that mean we should get to know you? I shouldn't get to know you either? He thinks about it for a while. A wise decision. Damn, you're smarter than you look. Probably. What do you look like? I hope not smart. He squints his eyes and leans closer again, but I lean back to dodge it. Never mind, it doesn't matter. With that, he turns, fumbles around for a moment in search of the door handle, and shuts the door behind him. I slide the key into the room, and the door locked, marked 119. Bleak beige walls, white linen, and desk made of some type of light wood, ugly curtains. That's no one's room, impersonal, like my hospital room was. My bags are sitting at the foot of my bed, looking a lot emptier than they did this morning. The closet is sitting open, stocked with the clothes. Also, it seems that there are a number of school uniforms hanging there as well. A note is pinned to the sleeve of one of the shirts. Hi, Chan. We unpacked your things and made your bed. They said that if these don't fit, then you should go to the office tomorrow. If you also have any problems, you can always call us. Love, Mom and Dad. At least I don't have to worry about unpacking. I kind of hope then there would have been something to do. It's still too early. I put the note down on the desktop, now lying down on the bed, feeling drained. Lying there makes me want to read something, but I have nothing with me. I wonder if the hospital conditioned me for wanting to read whenever I had nothing to do. The restless urge to keeps growing until I have to stand up. Maybe it's stress or something. I was pretty nervous about it before coming, and for the entire day too. I still am, I think. Damn, I have to distract myself somehow, so I don't be this unnatural all the time. Tomorrow I'll go borrow some books from the library. Yeah, I'll do that. But for now, the bottles of medication neatly arranged on my night table catch my eye. I pick one up, shake it just to hear the content rattle inside, and then read the glued-on pharmacy label. Isao Nakai, 2 tablets daily to stay alive. Wow! What? It doesn't really say anything, but it could just as well. Alright, you just fooled. I feel betrayed, Isao. I kinda twisted having your life depend on chemicals like this. I resent it a little, but what choice do I have? With this eye, I begin a new daily ritual of taking the right number of pills from each bottle, being careful to check the correct dosages. I lie down again, feeling hollow and uncertain. And after that, I keep staring at the blank, unfamiliar ceiling for a long time. It doesn't start looking any more familiar. Not even darkness falls long. Shadows draw across my room like fingers. The sheets feel more comfortable and warm. And nest like against the chill that passes from my room temperature here. Soon the lighter shade of darkness that is the ceiling looks like even every ceiling does at the night, and it becomes the only thing I recognize anymore. The night beckons me to sleep, and I feel the coldness and unfamiliarity and the fear creeping up my spine once again. I keep drifting further away from the world I knew. Katawa Shoujo. I think I'll just end off here because it's been like an hour. As you can tell, I've been fumbling with my words. So, I hope you enjoyed the first part of this. I want to say something else, but I can't think of it. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.